Salutations, my wonderful people, and welcome to the newest installment of Unsolved. And I am G20, Godpool, as you might also know me. I'm mixing up all of my intros recently. Oh boy! And with me is Kellen, who plays the wonderful role of Richard Barden.
Top of the morning to you, or evening, or afternoon. Hell, I don't know.
Then I have Zia, who plays the wonderful Lisa Di Bruno.
Covered in cats.
And then I have Michael, who plays the frustrated Gene Franklins.
Hello.
And then we have Brianna, who plays the forever scarred Leslie Hart.
Hi.
You can't hear it in her voice, but she is scarred.
Terribly scarred.
Should have heard her like after the episode where she got all fucked up. She was like, "When can we do this again?" And I'm like, "Oh God."
I like horror. I like horror a lot.
So, last time we left our agents. They were about to do some bad decisions. Gene and Leslie, you were about to check out what again? Do you remember?
I think we were doing paperwork. Weren't we? Yep. So we're snug as a bug in a rug at the police station.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think you decided to stay at the police station. And check over the evidence and everything like that. We missed the last two sessions because of conventions and sickness, sadly. There was a lot of sickness one weekend, and half of our team was gone for a convention, so... and Lisa and Richard, along with Detective Jensen, were about to walk into what they assumed to be the short apartment. Currently, Richard is still in the apartment of Nora Williams, and he's just about he was gonna do like a final sweep before he joined them upstairs.
Yep.
Before we check out the short apartment, I want to call a forensic team. At least like a forensic expert.
Okay. There is no phone, payphone or anything close by, so you'd have to go and you'd have to drive like at least 2 blocks.
There's not a phone in the apartment, Nora Williams' apartment.
Yeah, there is a phone there. If you want to use the phone there.
Oh, we shouldn't use the phone there because we technically broke in a little. Just a little.
Technically, you broke in just a little bit.
Is there
technically seeing you didn't actually break anything except for
we had what was the reasonable cause to break in?
Reasonable cause to use your phone.
You thought that she was in danger, therefore?
Yes, something like that.
Yeah. You believed that she would be in danger because out of all the people in that phone book that you found that had their names crossed out, she was one of the 3.
They're like an actual. God, what is it called? What's it called again? Apartment manager people.
Landlord?
Yeah, landlord. Is there an actual landlord office, or is it just her apartment?
It's just her apartment. She was the landlord, so.
Case, I'm gonna knock on one of the doors nearby and ask to use the phone.
I'm trying to remember the interesting people that were there. I'm blanking on the people. Okay. So you knock on one of the doors, and after about a while, a small, chubby-looking man opens the door like, "What? How can I help you?"
Sir, I'm with the police department, and I
didn't do nothing wrong.
I only have need of a telephone call.
Oh,
There's no phone book or phone booth nearby. May I please use your phone?
well, if you don't mind a little bit of grease. And he just like opens the door and just there's a phone next to the door, and it's kind of dirty.
Wearing gloves, right? From checking.
Yeah, he's just like.
So-
Ugh.
I pick up the phone, enter my extension.
Police department.
Give her my badge number and ask for a forensic fire unit, but just for like a couple forensic officers to come to the short apartment.
She tells you that a team will be dispatched soon. Basically, they will be sending, because he is the forensics expert on currently working on the case with you. Where was he? What was his name again? Josh. Dr. Foreman will be arriving once he's finished up checking out some things. He will arrive.
Because I got the case file and all of the notes and everything transferred to me. Has anyone like cased her apartment yet? On over her apartment?
No, you were the only ones that like actually got like you had gone properly here to this place.
Really sent no one to her apartment to collect evidence.
Not that you know of. You haven't read over all the files, so there were a lot of files. Because remember, the FBI agents were still going over the files for inconsistencies, and they were gonna.
I would have gotten at least the lead detective's files.
Yeah.
Hang up the phone, thank the guy for his time, and start meandering towards the short apartment.
The only thing you know is that the last time she was seen was at the hotel mentioned in the report that you had already like got.
Imagine, just me as Zia. I would imagine, once they found her dead body, at least send someone to search her apartment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you wouldn't be surprised if they've sent someone here, but like in basically the recent days, there's been a lot of stuff happening. But yeah, you don't know if they've actually sent someone, but yeah, you would assume that they've probably sent someone here. At least none of the reports that you have read already mention the apartment in any great detail.
Head to the apartment.
Mm-hmm. You haven't read. Yeah, you haven't received like any of the other official files, but you do know from Victor's file, the detective Victor Richardson's files. He did like interview Nora Williams like the same day. Like
there's nothing about the short apartment.
No, not in his report.
Oh fuck.
So you go up to the upper floor, and I'm guessing around this time, you, Richard, would probably be done checking it, doing the last sweep down there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you want to do any rolls for that last sweep?
Yeah, sure. I'll just give it one good roll.
All right.
Spot hidden. Here we go. Nothing.
You find nothing. Yeah, you find nothing that kind of stands out. You think you got everything down here.
I'll leave it to the forensics team to take over.
Yeah.
All right.
They're not-
If there's anything here, it's not seen with a naked eye.
I want to make sure this is clear. They're not going to the Williams apartment.
Yeah. Oh yeah. If you got any skills checked, let's increase them real short. Real quick. What? I said real short. I know that Leslie has library use checked because Jean/Leslie just told me. So do you have any skills that you need to increase?
None on my end.
Spot hidden checked.
Yeah. So Leslie, Leslie, you start by trying to increase your library check. I'm gonna guess that failed. And
no, my library 25. My library use is 25. So
okay, so yeah, you get to increase that. Sweet. And Zia, you can increase yours. Roll it and fail if you want to.
Nope.
Yeah, you just recently increased your spot hidden by what, 8 or something?
Actually, I think it was 9.
Yeah, I think your spot hidden got like way better. Yeah, you increased it by 9 last time, so yeah, you just barely made it. That was a D10 increase back then. I always have the first a D10 and then everything after that is a D4.
5.
Yeah, so yeah, you increased it by 5. Sweet.
It gives me a slightly better chance.
Yeah! You're a little bit better at reading.
You would think. I have a doctorate.
Yeah,
I thought I would have had reading good. But
yep.
no.
Nope. So,
I've learned what cornucopia means.
So, Lisa, when you walk up the stairs, you can see that Richard's already arrived, and Detective Jensen is waiting for the both of you. They both are waiting for you currently.
Head to Short's apartment.
Yeah. The Short's apartment is not the first apartment when you get to the second floor. It's the second apartment.
I would ask Richard if he wants to do door-to-door interviews.
Oh boy.
No metagaming. We have no real reason to right now. Let's just do it.
Reason to, because we have no idea how accurate the cop report, like how thorough they would have been, since we know there's foul play involved. Lisa has real reason to ask you to do this.
Okay. All right. Sure. That's fun. I'll follow your lead on this. You're the new lead on this case.
You're the more like charming person. She has no social skills.
I mean,
right.
Remember, Jensen's also there, and he.
But I want Jensen to be my meat shield.
Jensen.
I have seen Richard in action work charm on people. I have no idea how charming Jensen is. Although I think he's up and up, I still don't trust anyone in the police right now. So it's just like I'm keeping an eye on him subtly, even though I trust him.
All right. Remind me, Jean, Leslie, you didn't mention anything about the
No,
apartment,
no,
but did you
we
mention?
didn't say. We didn't say nothing.
Yeah, did you mention anything about like having talked to anyone around there, or just like nothing?
No,
Yeah. Okay.
no, nothing. No, no.
Quick reminder.
Nope, it went dumb.
Yes.
Sorry,
Yeah,
guys.
That's fine. Short was the very first victim, right?
Yes. Short was the very first victim.
All right. So we are going here because no one's actually checked this apartment.
According to the files of one detective Victor Richardson, yes, no one has.
One person. Did we ever talk to him?
Victor Richardson is the lead detective. He gave you the files after he was promptly demoted. Taken off the case is more correct.
That's something to possibly think about. Okay. I guess knock on the first door.
As a kind of a hint towards Jean and Leslie here, he didn't seem to mind when he got taken off the case. But yeah, you're gonna walk around and knock on doors.
You said it was Shorts wasn't the first apartment, so I'm gonna knock on the first apartment's door.
Yeah. You knock and it's currently, let's see, it's it is it is around what 7? No, it's around 8 o'clock in the morning. You spent a little bit of time in the station, so yeah, it's probably around 9 o'clock in the morning. And yeah, you knock, and a woman walks to the door, opens the door, and asks, "Yes, how can I help you?"
Hello, ma'am. Agent Barden, FBI. This is Detective Bruno with LAPD and Detective Jensen, LAPD. You care if we ask you a couple questions?
Sure.
Nothing too long, ma'am. As you know, oh wait, this is public knowledge that Elizabeth Short is the victim, right?
Yes, she's known in the paper as the Black Dahlia.
Okay, just making sure that that's still getting a refresher since it's been a few weeks.
Yeah.
You know, Miss Short, your previous or your former next door neighbor was the victim in the Black Dahlia case. Do you recall anything on the night that she went missing?
Who's this Miss? I know that I know her from the papers, but I've never seen her around here.
Really?
Is that supposed to be her apartment?
Yes, ma'am. It actually is. Has anyone been acting suspicious around this area before?
Well,
around that date. Sorry.
Well, there were some weird people here yesterday, but they kind of just looked around the area, and I didn't pay them too much mind. But one of them fell down the stairs.
I look at Lisa and raise my eyebrow, then go. Okay, understandable on that. But back around the dates that Miss Short disappeared, I understand that you didn't know that was your neighbor. But do you recall anything from that night? Strange noises, or even within the few days leading up to that night?
Mm-hmm. Nothing that pops into my mind. No. It's usually pretty quiet around here. We do have some rowdy neighbors, but we don't usually get too much. Not too many things happen around here. But the room next to us has been vacant for a very long time.
Psychology, is she being straight with me?
Well, psychology, do you succeed?
I'm just saying, that's what I was asking if that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Yes, I really succeed.
Aha.
I think that's a check mark, isn't it?
No.
It's not? Okay.
It's almost a check mark. It's very close to check mark territory. So, yeah, she seems to be straight with you. Yeah, you don't think that she's lying to you.
Okay.
She seems to be more confused about, like, she didn't know that she had a neighbor in that room. It's been empty, and as you kind of believe her that when she says it's been vacant for quite a while.
Which again,
I think it was Lisa that found the paper that said that that Elizabeth Short had like rented the was going to rent the apartment temporarily, and the day that she was about to, should like receive the key, she never showed up.
oh, that's right.
So that would fit to what you know. If but I don't think I don't remember if Lisa shared that with everyone.
I don't
Oh.
either.
Yeah, I don't think she did,
remember.
because I don't think you did, because you guys were busy actually looking at everything there. So yeah,
Well, then that's news to me, basically. So,
Yeah, so-
eventually Lisa can confirm it.
yeah.
How
Lisa-
about you? How about you, ma'am? How are you feeling? Have you been doing okay within these past week or so?
But yeah, just a bit worried. It's not long until we need to pay rent, and Miss Nora and Miss Williams hasn't been here, so.
Okay. Well, I do thank you for your time, ma'am. And
Wait. When was the last time you spoke with Miss Williams?
It is currently what day was it? It's the 17th. 15th. I need to adjust my notes. I did a lot of notes in between here. It should be now. I think it's the 17th was the Saturday. Saturday evening. Oh, God dang it. It is Sunday now. You got on the case the 17th of January, which was the Friday, if I remember correctly. So it should be the 19th currently. It's 19th, so it's a week since she tells you that it's been a week since you saw yeah. Check your January at 1948. Just gonna check this calendar real quick. Making sure. It is currently the 18th. It's currently the 18th.
And what was the last thing you said? It's been about a week since you talked to Miss Williams.
Yes, about a week. Yeah.
Did she sound any different than normal? Did she say anything different than normal, or was it just a pleasant conversation?
And nothing unusual. She wasn't the nicest of persons, but she was bearable. We usually talk to her like around like this in the second week to kind of discuss to let her know if we're gonna be with the rent on time or not.
Did you have any trouble with her as a landlord?
No, she's a kind of stickler for rules. Really, she wants everyone to kind of confirm that they can pay the rent like a week before the rent day, like 2 weeks before to pay the rent. So yeah, that's she can be a bit annoying, but other than that, I don't talk to her too much.
Turn to Lisa. Anything else?
No.
Thank you for your day,
Thank you
ma'am.
for your time.
You're gonna nod to you and close the door. And now you're standing at the top of the stairs. What do you
Written
want?
all of that down, but I currently do not have notes to write that down with.
Did you lose your glitter book again?
Here somewhere, I just have cat.
Ah.
Want to get bitten.
So yes, what do you guys want to do now? You got some good info.
Apartments on her floor nearby. Like how
Uh,
many apartments per floor are we looking at?
There are 5 apartments per floor.
Is there another one on the other
We should
side?
really.
Yeah, there should be another apartment on the other side of the short apartment.
All
Okay.
but Zia's lazy and doesn't want to do it. But Lisa's thorough and would. Apartment.
All right.
Well,
So-
if you check basically, if you're gonna go with the same line of questioning, when you check the other doors, like not everyone answers, but like 2 other people answer the door, and the information they give you, like in regards with Nora Williams and what kind of person she is, one of them tells you kind of a similar story as the first one, that she's a kind of a stickler for rules. It's kind of annoying. But the third one kind of tells you that that like if the rent wasn't so low here, they would fucking leave. They don't enjoy her. She's a bitter woman in her late 40s that just like, and they don't enjoy talking to her at all. But this person is also quite kind of, you kind of get the like idea that this guy that you're talking to is a shifty looking fellow to begin with, so like
Allows
a
you
guy
to see if he's like
like
greatly embellishing.
yeah, you think that he's embellishing quite a bit.
Case. To the important place.
All right.
Ladies first.
So you so you stand in front of the short apartment. By the way, you also hear, like, when you ask about a suspicious person, they describe 2 individuals that arrived yesterday. They were snooping around.
Sort
Yeah.
of sigh a little.
But yes, you stand in front of the door. And who's gonna open it?
Does it look like it's been unlocked, or does it feel like it's unlocked?
When you grab the door handle, it doesn't feel like it's locked.
Has like gloves on or is using something, I like grab his wrist.
He had gloves on last time. I remember that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
when the Nora Williams apartment.
Yeah, because you gave him gloves. if I remember correctly, because you were going down there. You knew that you were going down there, so you got gloves from the car.
I'm just gonna say now, anytime it comes to going into a crime scene, unless it's busting in on someone getting killed like that one apartment, I'm pretty much gonna be thorough about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still have my toolkit from taking the door down, by the way.
Yeah.
I was carrying it around with me.
So as you creak open the door, we turn to Jean and Leslie, who are sitting who are sitting in the police station currently, shifting through some of the files, and some of the files that you received directly, not the ones that because you're getting some files from the FBI dudes that that are checking over the files, but you have like some of the files from Victor Richardson that you're using to compare to your files. You would know that Lisa has a copy of the same files.
All right.
And what do we find? How much of it's bullshit, tweaked, and wrong?
Well, let's see. Let's roll for spot hidden for you. You can roll spot hidden for this specifically, or you can roll forgery if you want to try to detect forgery. But you can also make a separate roll spot hidden check for a different thing.
So, 1 second. So I want to do 2 rolls. First, I want to do spot hidden for what I notice for differences, and then forgery on any data that's missed that was not in the file that we received, or anything that's different between the 2 sets of files.
Okay. So roll spot hidden.
That succeeds.
So the one thing you kind of notice immediately when you have like 2 files, like is that one of the files that you seems to be altered has like when he goes to the short apartment, to the Nora Williams apartment and takes the interview. The part where he describes going into the apartment itself, it's not actually in the original report. It seems to have been blatantly left out.
The apartment is missing.
Yeah, the part about the short apartment is missing. It seems like it was blatantly left out of the report. And when they were doing like the falsified reports, they must have added that to kind of like he must have added that to the falsified report so that like nobody would question it, especially not you guys. Although you would suspect as much of a dick Horals was, he would have probably questioned him about why a piece of data was missing off his file, especially when it was from a very important crime scene.
So what does our copy say about the short apartment?
Nothing. It
nothing of interest?
No, like your copy, the fake copy would say that the fake copy basically says it's a small apartment with it just says it like it's a small apartment. It has a few item like a chair, like chairs, sofas, and stuff like that. It just kind of describes the apartment in light detail, and which is all false. And
so that description doesn't match the apartment we went into?
No, because the fake one actually adds furniture in there, which obviously wasn't there, with the exception of maybe the mirror. And he adds basically...
Is the mirror conveniently not mentioned?
Yeah, it's like the one that wrote this didn't have any idea what the inside of that place looked
Okay. Do I recognize the? Yeah, I'm assuming it's handwritten, or is it typewritten?
It is typewritten. Yeah, that is typewritten. Because it's
Okay.
you would assume that because it's the official report that he wrote, type wrote it.
Okay. Do I find anything else of interest?
You would have to roll like forgery for that specifically. The spot hidden was to just notice this blatant thing.
Sure. I'm pretty sure that's at least a hard success.
Yeah, you notice that a lot of the parts of this report are like subtly tweaked to kind of misdirect you during the investigation. It would give you. It's like the interview with Nora Williams would have given you it's the one you got would have given you the information that she knew had talked to her, actually talked to Miss Short like a great deal, received payment and stuff, like just slight tidbits that are changed. But the actual report tells you that that she had only talked to her. She had only talked to her once on the phone, and that was to book the apartment. And she had not received like any payment or anything like that.
Okay. And of course, I share all this with Leslie.
Mm-hmm.
So, last time I rolled really crappy at all of my investigation as far as the paperwork goes. So I would like to roll an idea.
Yeah.
I had a good idea. No, I was particularly with the information that Jean just gave me. Like, who should we talk to next? I think we're probably going to get more information doing our own legwork.
You feel like talking to Victor, Detective Victor Richardson, would probably go along, help you quite a bit if you'd actually get him to talk about his visit to the apartment. You think you might learn something more about at least what happened there. Because as I said before, like when you saw him like hand over the reports to you guys, like you saw that he was more than happy to get rid of it.
Right. So,
you would definitely know that he would be reluctant to talk about it by your with your own experience. Since you guys have been...
one thing I requested, so I requested all the paperwork and all the evidence.
Yeah.
Does that change the results of any of my rolls?
Not greatly, no. A lot of the evidence, a lot of the paperwork is still being, like, double-checked. But you are getting paperwork. Like, when they finish checking paperwork, you get it.
Okay.
But like with the evidence, all of the fingerprint evidence are getting ready to be sent to Washington. So you would have to wait for that either way.
Okay.
And most of the like physical evidence that you guys have are like the, let's see, it's like the gun the boiler room key that was returned to the evidence. Let's see. You were gonna try to got the TV taken in as evidence after it exploded, but you did want to try to get the box on it.
Yep. I thought the box was missing, like just disappeared.
It had been removed.
Okay.
And you have one of the evidence that you got was from the Underwood apartment was a photograph of the short scene, one of the first photographs taken. So you have that. You have access to that.
I can't remember what was the context for the pistol.
It was in Underwood's apartment. It was a police service gun, and it was next to like the door in a drawer, probably for self-defense, in case.
Okay, but it wasn't discharged or anything.
No, it if I remember correctly, it wasn't even loaded.
Okay. I have a note here that about that key that someone tried to cross it out from evidence.
Yes.
Okay.
You would believe that was Horrell's.
Okay. Is there anything weird about the key? Should I do a roll for that? I don't know. I'm just poking everything to make sure I've covered all my bases.
You wouldn't think that there's anything weird with it now. Like if there was, it's been tampered with, obviously. So you wouldn't be able, like, you would know as a as an investigator that especially at this time of in this time and age, that you'd probably not be able to get any like reliable evidence from it.
Well, I'm more trying to just document all of the tampering.
Yeah. You would believe that currently, like, the key like serves as evidence, as you know that it is to that, but you can't use it for any like reliable fingerprinting or anything like that.
Yep. Okie doke.
So I turned to Jean and say, I think we gotta go talk to Richardson.
Okay. I've got about everything I can here.
You would know currently, because of all the tampering and stuff, Richardson was taken off the case, and he is currently what is the word on? He's not on duty, at least. He was
on leave.
Yeah, he's on
administrative leave.
Yeah, administrative leave pending investigation.
Oh, so the fucker's still getting paid.
Yeah, but you do know that. But you would also know that because Horrells is getting investigated and he is getting investigated, they might end up in jail. Both of those.
Yeah.
They just haven't been he hasn't been officially arrested. Because they are still trying to determine whether or not he was doing this on orders, or if he had an active role in it or anything like that. But you do find it very likely that he's gonna get some sort of punishment either way.
So I guess somebody in the office must know where his house is, and we'd go there.
It's actually very simple to find him. You would know that he is currently actually in the police station in one of the interrogation rooms.
Oh, okay.
Interview
that
rooms.
Actually makes it slightly different.
Yeah.
More difficult.
Yeah. He is being. You would know that he. After just asking around, you would know that he is currently being. That he is here so that he could be interviewed for like sabotage on evidence and stuff like that.
And I turned to Leslie. I'm like, well, we could just go in, so we'll do it this way. I'll play good cop, you play bad cop.
But you're so good at being bad cop. I'm better at being good cop.
Fine, we'll do it your way.
When you ask for permission to interview him, they will give you permission since because you give the reason that it is for the short case.
All right. Does he have his union rep or a lawyer there with him?
Not currently.
All right, I request that somebody go get the union rep or the lawyer, whoever's working with him, so that this is on the up and up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They go and they start working on that. Are you gonna wait for him to arrive?
No, I will go inside. Are you gonna go inside?
Yeah.
So we go inside and we close the door behind us.
Richardson, like, when you walk in, he's like looking down and he looks up at you and goes, oh, and kind of, it's you guys.
How's it going, Richie?
It's funny. Because I certainly don't think it's funny.
So I assume he's on one side of the table.
Yeah.
All right, I sit down on the other side of the table, and I say, so we've asked for your union rep and your lawyer. They should be by very quickly, so we can wait for them. Or you could talk to us a little bit about the Short apartments and how nothing in your report matches anything that was in her actual apartment.
He tenses up when you mention the apartment, and he says, "Look, I agreed to talk to the those FBI guys and tell them what's what in exchange for a lesser sentence. I've no reason to talk to you."
So
I gently put my FBI badge on the table between us.
helping in an ongoing investigation would look really good to anyone who comes after, as far as keeping your job goes.
Okay, I want you to roll persuasion.
Oh no, I don't think my persuade is very high.
No, you have 60. I'm the one with shitty persuade.
Where's my... so that is a regular success.
He kind of looks at you and he looks at the FBI badge and goes, "I'm not crazy. I'm just telling you that. There's something wrong with that place."
Really good way to start a conversation by saying you're not crazy.
I give Jean a look.
Like, I know what I saw
Nice.
in there. I know what I saw in there, and it ain't any of that street crap. You don't see that kind of shit on the street. Look, I'm a homicide detective, but I don't look into some weird cult shit like that. That's where I draw the line, man. I know that doesn't make me a particularly good cop, but you know, fuck that. There's something wrong with that place. I went in there to investigate the place as per the usual, and I don't remember. I went in there and there was something there, and that something in there just it almost fucking killed me.
What sort of something?
I don't know, man. I didn't see what it was. I just got the hell out of there. I've never felt like my mind's been probed. Like whatever it was, whatever the hell's wrong with that place, whether some druggies cooking up some shit there or what, or if just, I don't know, there's something wrong with it.
What did it smell like?
Mold. I don't. Mold, like wet dog. I don't. I frankly, I don't
You
remember
got
too well.
allergies to mold?
Gene, shut up.
Frankly, I don't.
Shit.
Frankly, I don't remember too much. I was in there and then I was out. I went in there and I woke up on the steps downstairs. I saw something in there and I don't remember more.
So I would like to roll a, would it be psychology or a psychoanalysis for if he's
If you want to see
if
if
he's genuinely afraid.
if you want to see, if you want to, let's see. If I remember correctly, if you want to see his state, like you want to see if he's afraid or state of mind, that would be psychology. I'm gonna check psychoanalysis because I know psychoanalysis is used for like a somewhat specific thing. Psychoanalysis. Psychoanalysis. Yeah, psychoanalysis is more like used as a treatment towards insanity, while psychology is to like read like whether or not they're lying, what they're thinking, and kind of stuff like that. So yeah, you'd use psychology.
I will do that then.
Because you're not trying to fix him.
I know, I succeeded. Surprisingly enough.
What do you have?
An 80.
Oh boy. Yeah, he seems to be genuinely afraid of that place. He was very reluctant in sharing the information. And you feel like he's still reluctant. He feels like you would know that if you hadn't gone in there yourself, you probably wouldn't believe him. But you know that there's something weird about that place. You don't know what he specifically is talking about, but it's obviously something weird. But you'd think that he's generally afraid, and he's definitely leaving out some stuff, but it's probably more just because he doesn't want to remember it.
Do I think that there's anything I could say specifically relating my own experiences at the short apartment that would make him open up more?
You'd think that you'd be walking a very thin line. If he would take it the wrong way, you'd feel like he would definitely not share anything more. So you know that you'd have to like word it very carefully. Otherwise, he's probably just gonna take it like you're just mocking him.
All right, I definitely don't want to do that, so I'm gonna have to think of a different approach.
Yeah. So yeah, but you do think that currently he is he's sharing with you what he like as much as he's comfortable to share with, but if you want more, you'd have to kind of push for it and hope that he doesn't just decide not to share.
So I'm very anxious that Gene is gonna do something.
You say that.
So while Leslie's worrying about this, is there a one-way mirror in here?
There would be, yeah. No, it's one of the old-fashioned ones. So no, there's just like one of those like the sand painted like the sand blown windows.
Okay.
And which has like the interrogation room like written on it and stuff.
Got it.
So like they can see that people are in there, but it's not like obvious. There is an obviously a window on the door, like a small like square window, but it's like enough for a face. So
but is it glass or is it mirrored?
It's glass.
Okay. So
but yeah,
so
you would
Jean,
you would know that it's really hard to see what's happening on the inside.
Okay. Jean leans in and goes, "Did you see things in the mirrors too?"
See things in the mirror? I saw something move. Didn't know if it was in the mirror or just behind me. I don't remember much more than that.
Did you take any evidence out of the place?
No, like I said, shortly after that I blacked out and I woke up outside.
Nothing on you didn't go in with?
Nothing that I remember.
My partner here, he hasn't looked in a mirror since we left that place.
I kick Leslie under the table.
When you do that, he kind of like looks at both of you, kind of.
I hold out my hand to him and show that it's shaking quite badly.
Yeah, he's still giving you like shifty eyes, but he seems to be a little bit more relaxed than he was before. He's not as tensed.
We went in there yesterday morning in the bright sunlight. I've never felt so afraid in my life.
Well, there's something.
Unlike your report, we know there was nothing in the apartment, just the gunk on the carpet.
And some wackadoo shit.
There was a mirror, a full-length mirror, but nothing like what you described. We had to leave and come back.
I want you to roll persuade for me. I'm gonna give you I'm gonna give you a advantage on it.
Oh God!
But that advantage does not do a lot for you.
Can I push it?
You can
Roll
use
again.
you can use your luck roll.
I will do
Go the
that.
other way. Go the other way.
Oh. You feel you like.
That's the crit.
Yes.
You like kind of you try to like try to sound sincere the entire time, but like during the like as you're trying to like get talk to him, you kind of like freeze for a moment, but like just
If you don't mind, she doesn't actually freeze. He's pissed off because he started to lean into it and caught himself, and she committed fault. Or Leslie committed fault to going, yeah, we were in there, it was fucked up.
Yeah, I can go with that. And but you managed to kind of like save face, and he seems to be a lot more relaxed with you now, and he goes, "Look, no matter what I'd write in that report, like the guys in the station, like Horals would have just thought it was crazy and taken me off, and just got me sent to the psych ward." I wasn't ready to lose my job for that shit. So I just faked the report.
Actually, your hands aren't only shaking; they're probably still bandaged to hell.
Yeah.
That's true.
Now, I just didn't want to lose my job. I wasn't ready for that stuff, and I know it wasn't great police work or anything like that, but you do what you need to survive in this city, and if sometimes you have to break a few rules, that's what you do.
I nod, seeming solidarity, and I lean forward a little bit, not anywhere close to getting into his personal space, but just enough to show that I'm interested, and ask, if you were going to write a real report, what would you have put in it?
Miss Short, or whoever she was associated with, was probably had some connections to a cult of some sorts. The place had kind of the vibe of a one of those satanic places that we sometimes stumble upon. Tiny cults tend to pop up around here, and this kind of gave me the same feel. But nothing has been but no other scene has made me feel this like this before.
What in her apartment did you see? No. What in her apartment did you see that made you think that she was connected to a cult, besides how weird it was? Weird it felt.
Not specifically items. It's more of how the state of the apartment was. A lot of cults like to have tiny, small gatherings at apartments and local spaces where they can easily mingle in. And the short apartment is a small, it's small, but it feels like it feels like a place that they do that. I don't call it more gut feeling than anything else. By the way, the bird jumped from the cage over to me. That's why I said, "Oh God." He startled the shit out of me.
It wasn't the mirror.
Yeah.
Mirrors are often used as a...
The mirror was an out-of-character thing. It wasn't the mirror that started the Godpool, not the bird.
No, not the mirror. It was the bird. But he is, however, going to say this. Mirrors are often used as a kind of a gateway to the soul. It's also just... Some cultists like to believe that it's kind of can function like a gateway. So that
Is there anyone here on the force that has dealt with satanic cults before? Anyone that we should be talking to?
He kind of sheepishly raises up a hand. I was may not seem like it now, but I used to be. I was one of the bigger detectives here at the station. Oh boy, what was that sound?
It doesn't like what you're talking about.
Apparently, Richard's mic is doing something weird. Because there was a lot of...
Barden, take your hat off the mic.
I've had my thing on mute, like my actual mic on mute.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I don't know what's going on.
That was really weird. But yeah, he raises up his hands and says, "That's why I know that thing about the mirror."
And you didn't have a partner? You just investigated by yourself?
My partner was checking up another lead at the time. Most of the times, currently, me and my partner don't get along very great. So when we can split the work, we do.
All right. So I'm going to do one of those interrogation techniques where I'm just going to sit very quietly, not saying a word, just looking at him, waiting for the silence to become so awkward that he'll keep talking.
Okay. Let's see. So I want you to roll persuade. And this time it's taken more like as an intimidation. I want you to roll persuade, and I'm gonna give you a somewhat of a penalty because he is a trained police officer. And he knows some of these techniques.
All right, what's my penalty?
I'm gonna give you a minus 20.
All right, I still make it.
Yeah. Okay. It takes a while, but after like a good 10 minutes of just like staring him down, he goes, "Look, me and my partner, we had a dispute about work ethics. So they didn't like me dealing with the cases the ways I do. So we just simply decided, with help from Horals, we just simply decided that unless the situation requires it, we just split the work. Now, like I said, I may not be the best cop around, but I at least want to get this stuff over with. I made a deal with the FBI, with Mackenzie, and I'll be telling him all about the falsified reports and stuff, and I'll get a better, and hopefully, now that I've shared things with you, you'll lighten my sentence a little bit. It's never gonna be short, but it's hopefully gonna be better. A cop in jail is a dead cop.
I nod my head.
Any other missing holes? You guys left this out. Any other weird things you guys just decided to fail to document?
No, this is the only thing I left out of the documents. Everything else is in the documents themselves.
What was your partner's name?
Terry Jones.
Any idea where he's at now?
He is probably with a new partner in whatever department. I don't know if he's still with homicide, or whether or not he was demoted for not reporting me.
So I stand up and make as if I'm about to leave, but I stop at the door and I turn back. And I ask, if you were still on the case and you actually wanted to continue investigating, where would you look next?
He stops for a moment and thinks. And goes, well, the Underwood woman, the reporter, I would check out her, office. Out of all the victims, she's the odd one out, really. If Nora Williams is supposed to be a victim, and Elizabeth Short is supposed to be a victim, at least they have a connection. Underwood doesn't, unless she got too close to the truth. Maybe you'll find some information in her, at her office.
Say thank you for your time, and I head out of the room.
As you walk out, you Gene, you just see him kind of like rest his head like on his hands. He has his kind of hands like bound together, and he's just like rests his like forehead on his hands, as he's just like starts to wait for Mackenzie. I feel like he was and like as you're about to leave, you kind of think like this guy like. Sure, he wasn't a great cop, but like what he went, the kind of pain he went through going to that apartment. So, and as you walk out the interrogation room and the door slams behind you, Richard, you look into the apartment.
Well,
I'm sorry, guys.
Boomed.
no, I wake up from a dream I was having back at the hotel room.
Dude, I laughed. I had to hold back my laughter when you said like, that was dirty. That was great.
Well, it was, but it's funny. I enjoyed it. Yep. I'll
Are you gonna step in when you open the door?
Well, no. The safer thing is to actually just simply open the door and just look inside first.
Yeah. So you kind of open the door and like push it open, and you kind of glance inside. It's dark in there. You don't see anything like obvious. There's a hallway that seems to have two rooms connected to it, one on the right and one on the left. And these doors are directly ahead of each other, in front of each other. And if you walk any further, you'd walk into what you would assume to be a large, living room area that probably has a kitchen attached to it.
Well, turn on my flashlight.
You see
Look
like
for like
yeah.
windows.
There's one window in the front which is has the drapes and everything like covered, and there's one window obviously in the back.
Go for the windows to let some natural light in.
So but first, Richard, when you like start to light in, you can just like see the dust in the air. Like the air has obviously not been moved for a while. It's very like it looks very still.
But the light's not really shining up brightening up the place.
No,
it's just.
It's doing a very bad job of it. At least it feels like it's like piercing. Like it feels like it's that like dusty. Really, weirdly, it's that dusty that like the sure, it brightens up the area, like you can see, but it doesn't seem to brighten up anything like past like the two doors facing each other. It doesn't go very far.
Just to make sure, I shine my light into the hallway we're standing in, just to make sure and just kind of look at the light bulb, see if it's dim.
Oh, so you walked into the hallway?
No. The hallway we're standing in by the door, like the actual apartment. I just kind of shine and I look at the light bulb, make sure it's good.
You know that this is kind of like a balcony hallway, so it's open to the natural lights, but
right.
But you see that the bulb above you is like it's fine, and like you light around, and like it's not a faulty bulb.
Huh.
Either this room is just very fucking dirty, or or your bulb is weird, and you don't think it's the bulb.
Is there a light switch right on the inside of the door?
Yeah.
Like they're normally reach in and try to flip it on.
Nothing happens. You flip it on and it's like there's no power.
All right. I look at Lisa and Jensen and I
Goes for the windows.
step on in. We all step in.
So okay, you all step in. Richard, because you're we're the first one to step in, you immediately kind of get a shiver up your spine. And Lisa kind of rushes past you, and you're going directly. Are you gonna go directly to the room on the left, which would
I'm just sort of brusquely going to let as much light in as possible.
Yeah,
because I am not pleased with this darkness.
So which window do you want to go to first? The one that would be in the room to the left, or the one that's right in front of you in what might be the a living room area? Which is just directly in front of you.
Living room area.
Which one did you say?
I mean,
It's like she's rushing in, like power walking.
Yeah.
Lisa, don't trip on anything.
So you're going
Careful.
to the living room window.
she's not being careless. She's just she's got power stride.
Yeah. But are you going to go to the living room one? Because you cut out a little bit for me.
The living room one.
Okay. So you briskly walk in towards the living room, and you got when you walked in, you got you got kind of a shiver down your spine as well, and you kind of brush it off and you continue walking, and Richard, you're kind of walking behind her, and you you light her up, and when she walks past where the room end, she'd walk into the living room, you don't see her anymore. And Jensen goes, Did you see that?
Detective Bruno? We can't see
you don't hear her.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Does she hear us?
No.
Just keep going for the window.
So, Detective Bruno, you walk to the window, and you open it up, and there's just darkness on the other side of the window. It looks like it's the middle of the night.
Okay, so I turn around.
When you turn around, you don't see the hallway you walked in. When you look through the window, you can still see the city and everything. You turn around, and it's like the other half of the room has been removed, and you're just staring into a desert.
Going to retrace my steps directly to where I just was, where the hallway I walked from was.
Okay. So, how are you gonna respond to her disappearing, Richard? Because Jensen is freaked out. because you can see into the room a little bit because you were walking, and it was more like she just walked into like thin air and just disappeared. Because you can see enough into the room that you could see her if she was at the window.
And I do recall that Jean was very hush-hush about this place and just seemed awkward.
Now, I'm gonna roll for both. I'm gonna roll for at least Jensen a sanity check because a person just disappeared in front of him. And Richard, do you want to roll one as well? I'm asking. Oh well, that was not great for him.
I don't really want to roll one. I'll just hold off for now. I'll hold my sanity check for another day. Is that fair? That's fair, right?
Roll it.
Do I get a plus?
I
I know. Just say no. There's no precedence for this one. If it's a body, yes, but this is a no.
I would not have made you roll if it was a body.
No.
You have a luck roll.
You have a luck roll. Do you want to use it?
At least to try to mitigate the damage. Let me go luck. And let me just be lesser insane. Okay. Still fail, but not
Okay.
a failure. Isn't 96 the start of the failures? Like complete?
Yeah. Both of you take 1 point of sanity damage.
That puts me at 32, right?
Yeah.
Because I haven't healed any of my sanity damage so far.
I'm gonna really quickly roll up his ability score for what was the score that you used for it? I don't remember the scores for some reason. Yeah, power. I'm gonna roll his power real quick. I need to roll. So he has 5, 10. He has 14 in power.
That's double mine.
So he has 14 in power, which means that he has...
Should be a 70.
Yeah, he has 70 in sanity.
Man, must be nice being such a stable person.
He is now at 69 sanity. Yeah, you get somewhat disturbed by this discovery. And when you your initial instinct would be to turn around, and Jensen does as well, to turn towards the door. And when you turn towards the door, it's already closed. You didn't hear it close. And Jensen looks at you and walks, briskly walks to the door and grabs the handle and tries to move it and says, "The door's locked. We're stuck. I can't move the handle."
Okay, what would Richard's instinct be? Richard... this is gonna be... I hate to do it, but a door closed, potential person. He's still trying to think. He's gonna pull his gun.
Okay.
Back, and he tells Jensen back to back.
Okay. Jensen backs up, takes up his gun, and goes leans up to your back. Which way do you want to be facing? The door or the room?
I'll be facing towards the hallway where Lisa disappeared to.
Okay. Jensen is gonna cover the door.
And I'm gonna hold it in such a way where I have the flashlight in my left hand, gun in my right. I'm holding the flashlight out, but I'm holding the gun up. So,
Yeah.
like, it's against my wrist. I'm not holding the gun forward because I know Lisa's in there.
Yeah. So, okay. I know exactly how you're holding your gun.
Just wanted to be very clear.
Okay.
Firmly grasp it in your hand.
Exactly.
So
Firmly grasp it.
So Lisa, when you see the desert, I do want you to roll a sandy check, because you saw what is supposed to be a hallway as a large desert.
That's a fail, I believe.
So you will take. I think that being transported to a weird place is probably gonna hurt you more than just seeing someone disappear.
Am I trying to get under my stable sanity or my insanity?
You want to try to get under your stable sanity. So if you roll more than your stable sanity, which for you, that would be if you roll 40 and under, you would succeed.
And I ask, is my insanity is at 57.
I'm looking at your sandy points right now. They should be at 40.
7 is clicked, but I'll just move it to 40.
No, because like the number is above the dot. You can see it, like if you check the top row, you can see that it's like, yeah, it's a weird table.
The stable.
Yeah. So you want to roll like underneath what you currently have. So if you take damage, you want to always like, that is your new like. You would be rolling to basically succeed from there. So if you have 37 after this, then you need to get 37 or below.
Okay. Well, I failed.
Yes. I'm gonna say that this is kind of similar to. It's kind of similar to the meeting someone you know to be dead. So you would take a d6 plus 1.
Oh, shite.
You got 2.
Oh, lucky.
Yeah, you got 2 sandy damage.
I'm down to 55.
You kind of freeze in place when you see the void. It's kind of like the house has been ripped, like the apartment has been ripped from the house and just been placed in the desert. But when you look through the window, you can still see the city.
Retracing my steps exactly like if the desert or the void was still the apartment.
You start to walk into the desert, and you take a few steps, and it feels like you're walking on sand, like on sand. Like it's dry. It's like very dry, like the not like the Sahara kind of desert, like the dry. Very dry stone and sand and stuff. And you can feel like the sand kind of underneath your foot, like squish, and you this doesn't feel like you're walking on the strange like carpet that was in there.
I'm only going as far as like the door was.
The door of like to exit.
The door that they're standing in front of currently.
Yeah, okay. So the one that Jensen is covering. Yeah, you go all the way towards like where you think that is, and when you reach there, you like kind of look behind. You look behind you to make sure like the other part is still there, and you see kind of the broken frame of the room behind you, and above it just seems to be like everything past the house, the room, seems to be just a black void.
Yes. Fuck. Looking from the sand part onward, are there any landmarks?
No. It is completely desolate.
In case I'd walk back to the part of the room that's still there.
Okay. You don't feel safe at all. You feel nervous. Richard.
She's like fully sure that she is hallucinating, and that, you know, like having seizures on the floor right now, for all she knows.
Richard, you see a strange black figure move towards you with somewhat of a brisk pace, and it doesn't seem to have a solid form. It looks strange. It's suddenly coming out of the, like, you're lighting the room, but like suddenly just in the middle of your light this thing appears and just like directly in your face, and like it seems to as if it's just going to like go into you. And I want you to roll Sandy for me to see if you keep your cool or not when this happens.
Are you just being mean?
I didn't succeed, but it, yeah.
How would you react in this moment if you were not cool?
Well, if he's not keeping his head, he's probably gonna like, the door just closed. He thinks there might be someone else in here, and
you would think like this looks like somebody's about to attack you.
yeah, and so he's gonna FBI, put your hands up, and shine right on her, or it.
Like when that happens, it just goes through you, and you kind of like freeze in place. And
Jensen? I
yes?
know your back's to me, but did you see that?
See what, Barden?
And I look behind me. It went through me. Is there anything back there?
No. When you look back, Jensen is kind of like looking at, like, giving you a side eye as he's still like watching the door. It's like, I don't see anything here.
Something just walked through me.
Well, that just sounds crazy, man.
Right? So let's just ignore that. Lisa! And I yell in there.
Lisa, you hear a very muffled, like, like, you don't know what it, you can't make out what it is, but you hear a very muffled out sound.
Am I back to, like, the room yet?
Yeah, you are in the room right now.
Shut the window.
You close the window.
If I turn around, is it still the desert?
The room has reappeared. You don't see Richard or Jensen, however. And you realize that you're sitting on the floor with your back against the wall where the window is.
Detectives!
Richard, you hear a very drowned out detectives.
And side-eye Jensen, you hear that?
I did.
All right. I don't know what's going on, but let's try to take this slow and stay on me.
Take point. I'll close the doors as we go past them. Okay.
All right.
I'll watch our backs.
And I start easing forward towards where Lisa was.
When you reach where the doors are, you feel like the moment where Jensen, he doesn't look into the rooms. He just like reaches for a handle and closes it. And he does the same with the other one. And he goes, okay, the doors are shut.
Good. If someone is in here, we should hear those doors open if they come at us again. That figure. Hopefully. I mean, if it can walk through things, maybe that's not sane. Let's not talk about that now.
You walk into the main room, but you don't see Bruno. It seems like the room is empty, but you obviously saw her walk in here, and her voice was coming from here. Detective Bruno, you are you calling her name again, Richard?
Yeah,
Yeah.
As soon as I walk in, I see she's not there.
The
The windows aren't open. Lisa.
you can still you can hear the muffled sound, but it's a lot clearer now. You can like make out that it's your name, very barely, but you kind of look. You're looking through the window.
So I get up?
Yeah, so you kind of struggle to get up. It's like your feet, like it's like your legs are paralyzed when you try to stand up. It's like when you get when you've been sitting on your legs and they fall asleep. It's kind of like that. You struggle a bit when you stand up, but you manage. And you look around the room and you don't see them anywhere.
I see
Richard,
anything different about this room.
roll spot hidden. I know you succeeded that.
Oh, awesome.
It looks like the room is mirrored. You didn't get a
Now
very.
she's starting to get freaked out about this hallucination.
You didn't get very clear look of the room, but you did remember seeing like the counter on the right side when you walked in, when you passed it, and it's still on the right side when you look when you're turn the other way. It should be on the left, like on your left hand, but it's still on your right hand.
Contemplating opening and shutting the window again. Yep, she's gonna do that. She's gonna open the window again.
Okay, so Richard, what you see is when you're in the room, you start to feel like the room is slowly encroaching on you, and Jensen, you can feel like he's somewhat like shrinking behind you, like he's kind of holding himself more together. But that's kind of similar thing you're doing. You can see Lisa's reflection in the window.
I look closer.
You see her, and you see her back as she's like looking around. Then she turns around and goes to motion to open the window. I want you, with the combination of everything that's happened, I'm gonna have you and Jensen to roll another sanity check when you leave the room, just so you know. But when you see her motion to open the window on your side opens.
What was that? You cut out, bud.
When she motions to open the window, like in the reflection, the window opens on your side, and you see, like with the with like the windows were covered, and when it's open, you just see darkness through the window. There's nothing. There should be light coming through the window, but there's nothing.
Lisa?
I hear them.
no, you don't hear them anymore. But Lisa, you open the window, and the area, like everywhere where you're standing, it seems to be like you turn around, and the desert's not there anymore. It's just pitch black. The desert that appeared last time you opened the window, it's not there. It's just darkness. And it seems to be coming closer to you, very slowly and steadily.
Hear me?
Yeah, it seems to be engulfing the room very slowly.
I shut the window.
Okay, so the window shuts, and you can and Lisa, when you shut the window, you can see the reflection of Richard in it.
Do I know that does it look like she sees me and I see her kind of thing?
Yeah, now it would seem so that she's noticed you, because she would close it and be like, I think, lean towards it.
I say, Bruno, what the hell?
You're still like in the middle of the room, by the way. Richard.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh no, I wanted to go closer to the window.
You want to go, like, do you want to go all the way to the window?
I wanted to get as close to the window as possible.
Okay. With every step closer to the window, you start to feel like the room gets smaller and smaller with each step. And
that would cause me to hesitate.
yeah, and oh, you feel something grab your feet. Like to stop you from moving.
Do I see anything besides him and the window reflection? Like whatever.
No, you see him, and you see Detective Jensen with his back turned. Like they're both brandishing guns, obviously. And they seem to be like back to back.
I look down.
You see hands coming out of the floor. Like the carpet has formed into like human-like hands, and they're gripping your feet. And your leg. Roll Sandy for me.
Damn it. Damn it.
Sorry, I probably made it worse by opening the window so many times.
So you failed. Okay.
Oh, yeah. I was just waiting for your dice to come.
Oh.
Well then.
Take 7 points of sandy damage.
That's a big hit, bro.
Yeah. So, Lisa, in the window, you see Callan, you see Richard look down at his feet, and when he does, you see that Jensen kind of steps away and turns around, and he has like a strange flat face on him and just aims his gun at his head.
Who aims his gun at his head?
At Richard's head, and like as you're about to react to anything, you just see him pull the trigger and shoot him point blank in the head.
Jensen.
Of course, Richard, this did not happen. Richard, Jensen is still with his...
I'm still very confused. There was like a gap where I missed a name. What happened?
Jensen stepped away from Richard's back, turned around and aimed his head at Richard's head. Aimed the gun at Richard's head and shot him point blank at the head.
Christ!
And you see Richard just fall down lifeless out of the view of the window. And you see the visage of like Jensen look at you and walk away, and just disappear in the darkness. Now, Richard, for you, you're panicking over the things holding your feet. Jensen is also panicking over the things holding his feet. He's like, "What the hell is this?" And he made his check, so he only takes 1 sandy damage. Ah, he's lucky.
G-Man,
Yeah.
as bad as I took a hit, I'm probably standing in the middle of a bunch of bodies from my memories.
Oh yes. You get a pretty bad like you get a pretty bad case of the flashback. You start to see, like, for you the room starts to fill up with bodies of your, like, comrades, those that you fought with, those that you've seen dying, friends and foes alike.
And it's like their hands grabbing me. Why didn't you save me? Blah, that kind of stuff is probably what's hitting them.
Explain to us, like, what is happening in his mind as, like, all this is happening. What is his hallucination?
He's back in all his soldier gear. One of the random cities in France during the war. And his comrades are dropping left and right. And the Nazis are encroaching even further. They're surrounded. Everything's even more hopeless than the original. The way he's always seen it versus what it actually was. It was still a hopeless situation. But, like, his comrades are down, guts are spilling out, hands are grabbing at him. They're yelling at him, why did you bring us here? We should have gone the other direction. You know, they basically telling him he made the wrong decision. But he's trying to also focus on the Nazis, and so, you know, he's firing his gun.
Now, yeah, continue.
Yeah, I mean, just, it's completely hopeless, and he's just covered in blood, and finally it would at one point overwhelm him, and he would just drop and crouch down and start rocking back and forth. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. I'm sorry, you know, and just very apologetic.
So for Jensen, what happens is that when you start shooting in your hallucination, you pull up your gun and start shooting, like, at the window. And it's like, and Jensen turns around, like, and tries to, goes like, what the hell's happening? Barden! Agent Barden! And he's like, gives you, like, he tries to kind of get your attention by hitting you with his elbow, hitting his elbow in your side. Not, like, seemingly working. And kind of at the end of it, you, like, mumbling this to yourself, you get hit, you feel something hitting your face, and you kind of snap to for a moment, and you see Jensen, which pistol whipped you to get you out of it because he tried to slap you, and you take a point of damage. And he goes, snap out of it, man. This place is messing with your mind.
And just breathing, and he can't help himself. He's got to reach for his flask.
Oh yeah, but did you? Oh yeah, you got your flask back.
I got it back, and he refilled.
Yeah. Jensen looks at you, take a sip. He's now turning towards you with his, like, back towards the door, and he goes, "Can I have a sip of that?"
I take a big gulp and then my hand shaking. I hand it to him. I put my gun away.
Yeah, you emptied your clip, so there's nothing left in your clip.
I do not reload it at this point.
Yeah,
I put it away.
But you put it away, and Jensen takes a good sip from it, hands it to you, and like, okay, there's like, this shit ain't real. There must be something in here that's causing us to hallucinate or something. We just need to find Detective Bruno and get out of here.
And I have what I think is an idea. But would you mind if I do an idea roll to see if I can
Yeah.
If Richard actually manages to get through.
Yeah, I would like you to do that. Currently, you are. I think you took enough sandy damage in the few moments to actually get like a temporary insanity. Yes, you did.
Okay.
So while I solve that stuff, just do your rolls and stuff. Because
Okay. I would have made it because my idea is an 85.
Sweet, you make it.
The idea that I want Richard to have, and you can have it come into him, however, he saw Lisa in a reflection in the window. Mirror, he starts thinking mirror, maybe the mirror, check the mirror.
Now, what happens to you, Richard, is because of this, you kind of feel like you can't make proper decisions by yourself, so you follow the initiative of others for a while. It's not for a very long time. It's just while you're under this stressful situation, you feel like you don't trust your own instincts properly, so you question them.
Well, the idea I tried to have is that, maybe it's a reflection, something to deal with a reflection, but he probably wouldn't be able to communicate that properly to Jensen. So
Jensen
I'm following Jensen's lead.
Yeah, so Jensen looks around and says, all right. Okay. We heard her voice. Did you see anything? You were looking into the room. Okay. Tell me, did you see anything?
I saw her in the window she was there in the window.
Anything else? Anything that has anything else that you remember seeing? She was in the window. Was she doing something?
I saw her opening and closing the window.
Okay.
She would disappear and then she would reappear when it was closed. Is that correct?
Yeah. All right. Richard, I need you to do this for me. I need you to watch the hallway while I open the window and see if she's there.
Okay.
Shit.
You can do that for me?
Yes, sir.
All right. And
flashlight towards the hallway.
He takes your pistol from that you sheathed. Takes it. Don't load it. Just use it to threaten them. If you see anything, just point it and say you'll shoot. And he places it in your hand and goes pats it all right.
Oh my gosh! You know what's even better right now? Godpool, I just realized he's kind of going back to. He's no longer an officer. He's going back to pure enlisted mode, and he's talking to his officer. Yeah. Yes, sir.
All right. And just point and threaten whoever you see. The barrel's empty. All right.
Yes, sir.
All right. Good. And he walks to the window and opens it, and Lisa, on your end, the darkness is getting really close. And the window opens behind you, and you see through the darkness the upper half of Jensen come through and go. And he sees you and goes, "What the hell is this?" Kind of.
Shut the window.
You don't know? You did not see any of the anything that happened to Richard and Jensen. You only remember seeing Jensen shooting Richard in the head.
I am firmly because I only saw that through a reflection.
Mm-hmm.
She firmly believes that everything she's seeing and caused by some sort of gas that's either in the apartment or in the window, or through the window.
Okay. Did I have you roll Sandy? Did I have you roll Sandy for seeing that? I don't think I did.
No.
Okay. I want you to roll Sandy for me. Because seeing someone executed actually does that.
with sanity right now.
Oh, you fail. You
Points
fail.
to spare.
You are like not stable at all right now. So.
Don't you have until 35 to go insane? Or is it just
No,
sanity
you like
loss?
there are some rules towards it. There's like how much loss you get. Oh, you lose 2 again. You only lose 1. Sandy, because I roll max on Kellen and 1 on you. 2 sides of.
She knows she's sane. She just thinks she's having hallucinations.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you would think that with like. You could think that you're hallucinating. That is the logical way. But he goes like, Bruno, give me your hand.
What?
Come on, get through the window now. For that black thing comes here. That's getting to you.
I guess she goes through the window.
Yeah, he's like trying to help you come through. Because it's a pretty high window, you need to climb over it.
I can jump. I have a high jump skill.
Oh, you can, but you wouldn't have a lot of running space. The black darkness is very close to you.
What would I roll then to?
Just you just roll. You have jump, right? So just roll jump.
Okay.
Standing jump.
You're just doing a standing jump, and that means that and it's I'm gonna give you a -10 to it because it's like a tight squeeze if you're jumping.
I'm not gonna make it then.
Oh, you jump and you try to jump and you just hit it really awkwardly and just he goes like, God damn it, Bruno, and he just like pulls you through. And Richard, you feel like you hear Jensen just like pulls something and he goes falls backward and he hits like falls onto you, and both of you like all of you fall down, and you kind of like blink for a moment and you're on the pavement outside. All of you.
Just slurring. Nobody touched the window.
We're all outside the apartment.
Yeah,
like, or
you're lying kind of on your like face down. Jensen is lying kind of on your back with Bruno like in his like arms as he pulled her out, and he's like, "Oh, it feels like I fell down a bunch of stairs."
And you guys landed on top of me.
We need hazmat.
So I'm gonna roll for yeah. We don't need to roll anything for now, because I want to roll for you to do. No, okay, yeah. What, my dude, Richard, my dude.
Oh, I take back how I said that. When he says, "I feel like I rolled downstairs." Excellent observation, sir.
You've been calling me sir for a while. Why? And he rolls off, like he pushes like Bruno off and rolls to the side off of you, Richard.
Protocol requires I refer to a superior officer as sir.
And he looks at you.
You dimwit.
He looks at you funny for a moment and goes, Bruno, he hit his head.
God, not again.
And he kind of like pushes himself up and like, all right, we're going to the station. And he like pulls Richard up.
We gotta cordon off that door. Just a fucking biohazard. Where's my tape?
Get a. You need to get the forensic team needs to search for some sorts of toxins in the air or something. What?
Fuck it, no one's going in there till we call the CDC.
Both excellent suggestions, sirs.
around.
God damn it, Barden, just sit in the car.
Yes, sir.
I turn around to Barden and I go, you wait here when the forensic team gets here, dismiss them and tell them we have a potential biohazard and no one is going in that apartment. No one is touching that apartment.
All right, I know actually how this works. Barden, he looks between the two of them, and he looks at Jen and says, "Sir, as she is the superior ranking officer, I must follow her orders now. Thank you, sir."
And he just shakes his head and he's like, whatever, Barden.
And she looks at Barden and she says, and for no goddamn reasons are you even supposed to touch the fucking doorknob of that place.
Had my gloves on, sir.
It's on fire.
What?
All right, contact the. We'll contact the CDC. Have them quarantine the place. Get the people out. Whether or not this is connected to the crime scene or not, whatever is in there is a fucking hell of a hallucinatic.
She's like not really dazed, but she's sort of done. It's just like, she was blown up yesterday. Today she had massive hallucinations. She doesn't know what the fuck is going on.
But hey, you got promoted yesterday as well, so.
She was also exploded.
Yeah, so when the three of you kind of look around, you notice that the sun has set. It's around. And when you check your clocks, you notice that it's about 7 p.m. So if a forensic team arrived, if a forensics team arrived at some point, they arrived and they're probably already left.
Come on, Barden.
Do what now?
What?
Come on.
Yes, sir.
I get the others. You and I are going to the hospital to get blood drawn. See what the fuck they did to us.
Yes, sir.
So, Leslie and Jean.
Hello. Hi.
How are things on your end? So you left you just stepped out of the interrogation room, and you got a pretty good information from him.
Yep. I turn to Jean and go, Underwood office?
I was gonna say burn the short place down, but yeah, we can do that too.
You want to burn the short place down with Agent Barden and Detective Bruno inside.
Oh yeah, I forgot about them. Oops.
You would know that you could go to the Underwood place, but if you want to wait for the if you want to have the entire team when you go there, because then you'd have to wait for them, as you'd know, or you could try to contact them.
I think just the two of us could investigate. So yep, just the two of us are going to go.
All right, so you take a car and you get a car and you head towards the Underwood. I remember what it's named. There. So you go to the Herald Herald Express. There's a lot of heralds. You go to the Herald Express and you arrive in the lobby, and The receptionist there obviously remembers you from last time.
Mm-hmm.
Good day. How can I help you?
I don't suppose there is any possibility that Miss Underwood is in?
No. Since they discovered her body in her apartment, I'd assume she wouldn't be in. But the police has been here.
Was that confirmed? Was that confirmed that it was her body? And I turned to Jean. Have you heard that?
No.
She just turns and said, that's just what they told me. I haven't seen her since.
I appreciate it. Any cooperation. We would like to request permission to search her office in this ongoing investigation.
We had some police officers here yesterday after the explosion in her apartment, complex. But
were any of them named Quarles? Do you remember?
Yeah. A detective came here. A detective Richardson came here.
And
he came here with Police Chief Horles. The detective interviewed us, but Horles went upstairs to examine her office, but he wasn't gone for very long.
Inside, Leslie is fuming because he knows he can't, but all he wants to do is go in and break into Horrell's house and figure out what his motivation is. But since they're there already, he just rolls his eyes and heads upstairs, leaving Jean to explain.
Jean just sort of stopped because, of course, Underwood's dead. We've known Underwood's dead. Jean's just not really sure why there was the lie up front.
No, it wasn't a lie. There was a burned body. Last time I checked, we still hadn't gotten confirmation from anybody that was Underwood.
I thought we'd seen something.
Had we? Is that just my bad brain, Godpool?
I don't know. It's been a while.
There's been no official confirmation that it is Underwood, but a lot of people seem to think it is.
Right.
Yeah.
I was just hoping against hope that it was somebody else and that maybe she was fine up in her office doing her righty thing.
They find that it's likely to be her because she had been the most adamant in the investigating the death of Short, and it kind of fit with the state of her apartment and with everything going on.
I don't disagree, but you never know.
Yeah, there's been no official confirmation whether or not it's her. At least not by the police. There's been no statement, at least, about it.
All right.
So
I just sort of
Yep.
freeze and then shrug and follow Leslie. I don't actually explain. Does she try and stop me?
No, she's just she seems like she's a bit afraid, and she doesn't want to get any she doesn't want to get in the way of the law, basically. And she lets you go through.
So Gene just sort of rolls his eyes flat. Did we tell her we're FBI?
I don't remember you telling her. No, you just... you lied to the desk last time to get up. You didn't tell her that you were cops. You only told Underwood that you were, like, FBI.
And this is the same person at the front desk?
Yeah, she recognized you.
Oh, okay.
But she obviously now thinks you're with the law because how you brandished yourselves.
So I roll my eyes and flash my badge and go, it's just official business. Sorry to bother you. I just follow Leslie up.
She kind of nods, like, kind of sheepishly, and just watches you go up. Now, when you walk into her office, it seems to be kind of in the same state as you saw it last time. Pretty unchanged. Like, things don't seem to have moved a lot. Here, bird. Go here. I'm busy.
So I'm looking around, but honestly, I turn to Jean and go, if you were Horrells, what would you have done?
I'm not at liberty to say that. That'd be grossly inappropriate. It's the first thing I'd...
If I'd be Horrells, what would I do?
I don't know, probably yell at someone that doesn't deserve it, break some shit, make some shit up. I don't know, that sounds about par for the course, right?
In here, what would you
break some
do?
shit, forge some shit, mess some shit up.
You seem you can roll idea.
Sure. That meets.
So you remember when the explosion at Underwood's place happened and Horrells arrived there to kind of take point. And he was pretty he had been pretty active in the case after the death of Underwood. Basically, it seemed like you would figure that either he had some connection to her or something, or like, and wants to hide it, or has been doing some things to stop like hide it. So you think the reason why he would probably go here is to discard of possible evidence incriminating him, or just you'd find that to be the likeliest culprit.
I go over and thumb through her Rolodex. Does she have an entrance to Horrells?
One other thing you could also think is that he could have bribed he could have probably used this station to kind of make sure that nobody says something they shouldn't.
Yep.
And you think that memo probably didn't reach down to the secretary level, but it's probably like you'd think if you talk to maybe like the CEO of this place or like the some of her coworkers, they would probably not tell you a lot on the account of being afraid to lose their jobs or something like that. If what you think is true.
Can I roll a psychology to determine if Horrells was there to abscond with evidence or if he was there to plant evidence that he didn't want the anybody finding?
I'd say that like if Gene would have shared this information with you that he got with this idea check, you would be able to, let's see, I would allow you to roll. You'd probably roll like I feel like this would be an idea idea check as well, because I feel like you'd be more trying to, like, with your investigative knowledge, try to make a point with it
Oh,
instead, and not.
oh no, I have no ideas.
Yeah.
You have
So
the website.
so yeah, you have no idea whether or not he came here to hide evidence or to plant evidence or anything, but either one, he did either one of those, and you don't think you'd be able to tell which is which. That's at least what you think.
Let's go talk to the head of the place.
Wasn't Underwood the head of the place?
No, she's just a reporter.
Okay.
So I knock on the CEO's door. Is he there?
So, yes, he is there. Let's see.
What's his name?
I have his name right here. I'm just making sure that he was still the man at the time. He is named Herald Express. His name is William Rudolph Hearst.
Say that again?
William Rudolph Hearst.
I've heard that name.
Yes, he used to be a member of the U.S. House of Representatives from New York.
So I knock on the door. Does he let us in?
The door is opened and you see his secretary there.
Can we
If you
borrow
guys
5 minutes, Mr. Hood? Time?
Mr. Hertz isn't here currently. He's away on medical, due to medical concerns.
Who's in charge in his absence?
I was tasked to deal with most of his messages, and in case any meetings, to relay his thoughts on it.
Okay, but who makes the decisions in his absence?
In short, that would be me.
And while she's saying this, I'm pulling out my FBI badge and I've got it in hand. So his secretary would make the decisions while Mr. Hearst is out of the office?
It's mostly just because I'm the I know what he would want. I worked closely with him for many years. And I keep in regular contact with him.
I'm just thinking about the best way to respond to this. Give me a sec.
I'll give you a moment.
How will you purchase? Punch her in the face? No, probably not.
We could ask to see the books.
I ask her anyway for contact for Mr. Hurst. Making it clear that this is a request from the FBI. It's not just someone dropping in.
He goes, well, I can let him know when he calls next that you came here, but what does the FBI want with him?
How long has he been out of the office?
For at least a month now.
Is it serious?
Yeah, he hasn't been here for about a month. He's been less and less in the office after they discovered an illness in him.
Oh, this was still the time where nobody talked about cancer.
Yeah.
All right. So he hasn't been in the office at all in the past, let's say, week?
Yeah, I haven't seen him in about a month. He hasn't been in the office. He's been away.
All right. So have you been the one dealing with what is it? Police Commissioner Quarles?
Police Chief.
Quarles. Police Chief Quarles.
She kind of looks at you and frowns a bit and says, he was here doing just investigating as normal. He arrived here with Detective Richardson.
That was yesterday, correct?
Yeah.
And you hadn't seen him in the office before yesterday.
Dr. Horals?
Yeah.
Not that I know. I don't know that I haven't seen him here.
Have you seen him anywhere else?
Well, of course, he's the police chief. Seen him around.
How would you describe your relationship with Chief Quarles?
I know him by name. We don't have many discussions together, but if so happens that he comes to discuss with Mr. Williams when he's here, Mr. Rudolph when he's here, then I see him. I do not.
Right,
I don't have a personal relationship with the man, no.
Do you know any of the reporters that do?
Not that I can know.
I'd like to.
A lot of our reporters have talked to him, of course, for some of our for some of our stories, but none of them so that I know him on a personal level. We discourage getting too attached to subjects of news. Don't want any scandals.
Of course. Can I roll a psychology to see if she's being earnest?
And under my breath, if she says scandals, just under my breath, say other than the one we're currently in the middle of.
I step on his foot.
But yes, you could roll psychology to see if she is lying or not.
All right. Yes.
She is lying out of her teeth.
Okie dokie.
I mean, it's not obvious. She's very good at what she does. But you are a trained psychologist, and you know when a person lies. And this person is obviously lying.
Right. Should I roll psychoanalysis to see how I should approach this? Because I don't think if I came out and went, okay, I know you're lying. I don't think that would work.
With your psychology roll, you could you basically get the idea that yeah, she is lying out of her teeth, and she seems to be somewhat. She is a secretary for for a somewhat powerful man, and you don't think that you're not sure if you could easily get this information out of her without taking a few risks, because she is a secretary of a man that has a lot of connections, and you don't think that she earned this station for being bad at her job.
So
one thing else. You're pretty certain that she is familiar with police protocol and stuff like that. So, you know that she is at no liberty. She could decide just not to speak to you if you decide, depending on how you approach this.
All right, that actually changes what I was going to do. So I sit down.
Yeah.
And I look at Horrells. I look at Jean. Says, yeah, can you call the station and get that warrant from the mayor? Get it signed so that we can look over the books and the rest of this property.
Got it. There's a phone. I turn to the secretary. There's a phone up front.
When you say that, you see her. She kind of raises an eyebrow. Not too fazed by what you said, but she raises an eyebrow and says, "Really, agents? Is this how you want to do this? I thought we could do this in a friendlier manner."
Oh, absolutely. Can we have your books, please? And full access to everybody's office in here, and I don't want anyone leaving until we've gone through it all.
Why do you need access to everyone's offices? You have access to Underwood's office.
I just smile and say, it's classified.
And she smiles and goes, "Sweetie, nothing stays classified for too long."
Long enough.
Get your little warrant.
All right. Jean?
And
After you call,
she has
stand
this
at the front door, make sure no one leaves.
She has this
I'll stay here.
she has this smirk on her face when she says this.
I drag Leslie out of the room and go, "What the hell's going on?"
She's hiding something. She's lying big time.
Okay. So what?
About knowing Horrells. Potentially she's covering up from her boss. Everything she said, more or less, since we started talking to her, has been a lie.
Huh. Okay.
So I'm going to stay here with her. And I need you to make sure that nothing leaves this office. Building. Please.
Is this gonna take all day, agents?
It just might.
Some people need to work.
And maybe longer. Oh, you can keep working. We're definitely not going to stop you from working. But just a reminder, since this is classified evidence, you can't write anything about us being here.
Play your cards however you want, Agent.
And I step back into the office and say, listen, we can make this really easy or really hard. Mr. Horrells is under investigation, and it looks bad. We have 2 dead bodies, at least, and it looks like Mr. Horrells might be connected to it. So you can help us, or we'll go and take it for ourselves. But where I'm standing right now, you're on the other side of an obstruction of justice charge for not working with us. So please answer our questions, and we'll leave.
If I'll be completely honest here, I didn't forbid you to examine, to check, read our books, go over our records. It is your partner here that just started throwing out warrants and things before we even had a time to discuss this further.
It's related, and it's also an option, but it doesn't have to be that way.
I don't take kindly to threats, Agent, and that certainly was one.
Can I fast talk?
You can fast talk. What are you saying?
No, that's most of the fast talk.
Okay.
There's a bit of hedging in there. There's a hell of a lot of you could work with us or against us, or we'll turn you over a barrel.
Mm-hmm.
That's a success. That's almost a hard success.
Sweet. So he says, I don't mind working with you. That's not the problem.
Okay, so be honest with us. What was your relationship with Horrells?
Business.
I'm sorry, honey. I watched Horrells get his ass carted out of the precinct yesterday. Business isn't gonna cut it. It looks like one of your reporters might have been killed recently. Business isn't gonna cut it. Looks like there's a connection. We're looking at a connection through your newspaper, and you're telling us business? I asked a very clear and concise question. You're giving me the runaround?
Horrells is the chief of was the chief of the police station, and until anything else is revealed, he still is currently, although relieved. However, I don't care much for the man. He didn't do anything good here. If anything, he made our jobs harder. But he and Mr. Rudolph have from time to time come to an arrangement or two.
That sounds like some shady shit to me. What were him and Richardson here about yesterday?
About the explosion in Miss Underwood's apartment, of course, in her apartment complex, of course. Stay up to date, gentlemen.
Oh, I'm aware. The question wasn't. I'm sorry. We have a misunderstanding here. The question wasn't just why were they here. What did they do while they were here?
I know what the question was. It was just funny, fun pushing of buttons. They were here to interrogate some of our employees to see where she had been in the recent days, and they came to search her apartment for any evidence that could lead to whether or not the body found in bits in her apartment complex is actually her or not.
I'm sorry, they were searching her apartment. What did that have to do with them being here?
No, they were searching her office.
Okay, but that's not what you said.
Oh, that was just me accidentally misspeaking. So, they were searching.
That's fine. I'm still gonna hold her to misspeaking.
Curse you, Godpool!
Can't make this easy for you.
You own that shit.
No, they were here to investigate her, to search her office for any sorts of evidence that would support the claim that it might be her that was found in bits in the boiler room of her apartment complex.
Did they take anything with them?
They took some evidence. I don't know what they took.
Do we have anything at the Did I see anything earlier that said that they came back with evidence?
No.
Okay. I tell Leslie to go. I'm gonna need the contact information for Mr. Hurst. We need to reach out to him.
So if I hear this, I will call the police sync and
The precinct? Sorry.
and talk to whoever picks up, because I know he had been banned from going to see Horrells, but the implication had been we could talk to him if we found out that he had been hiding evidence pertinent to our job. So I'd be calling to request that permission.
So you're gonna get. Can you repeat that for me?
So, yesterday, I guess in game it's yesterday, or was it even earlier today? No, it was yesterday.
It was yesterday.
We had been told we could not ourselves go and search Horrells' house.
Yes, because it's
However,
due to internal affairs.
Right. However, we were also told that if we had evidence that Horrells had been hiding evidence pertaining to our case, not at the precinct, that we could request permission to go to Horrells to get that information to Horrells' house.
Potentially.
Weren't they going to provide you with the information that you needed if because I remember that they talked about the house, it's like his house being, because it's under investigation, and Mackenzie, if I remember correctly, told you that if you had any evidence that would suggest that he's hiding evidence, they would see if they would find it there and find any of it there, because they don't want anyone contaminating that crime scene, because that's a crime scene for two different cases currently.
All right. So then, if that's the case, because that would be my memory misfiring.
Yeah.
If that was the case, I would say that we potentially have.
But just
I would still.
I'll check to confirm that. I'll check to confirm that. I'll check it for next session to confirm whether or not that is it. That is it.
All right.
And I'll let you know.
But at this point, we have probable cause to get a warrant to search Horrells' house and potentially Richardson for.
You don't need
theft.
warrant for Horrells' house. That is already covered basically. But you
Okay.
Here you would have a warrant, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So let's just go with what you say is true. I would call up whoever was lead of the investigation. I'm assumed that I would know that, who was heading that particular investigation.
That is the FBI is heading that.
Right, but like the
Mackenzie,
actual.
yeah,
officer.
Mackenzie is the lead investigator on that.
All right, so I would definitely call up Mackenzie and tell him what we had heard, that we had just gotten the information from Underwood's workspace that her boss had allowed Quarles to walk off with some evidence that is potentially linked to our case.
So that you're calling to get the warrant for that, right? Sweet. Okay.
No, I'm just, if
You're just planning ahead.
Yeah.
I'm letting them know, I'm asking specifically if they have seen anything that fits that description, if they could talk to Quarles to get that information, or if they could at least keep an eye out.
Talk to Richardson, because he's already said, I'm throwing up my hand.
Richardson wasn't there, though.
She said both were there.
I must have missed that.
Richardson was, from what the secretary told, Richardson and Quarles arrived, but Richardson was stayed downstairs to talk to and interrogate.
Yeah. That's what I thought, but actually, while I have him on the
Check
phone,
him first.
Can I talk to Agent or Detective Richardson just for a moment, please, while I'm on the phone?
You call the station and it takes a while until you hear yeah.
All right, we're gonna go through all of this again.
No, he doesn't know who's on the phone. So.
It's I'm sorry. It's Agent Leslie Hart, PhD. I forgot I had used to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you need? I thought I told you everything that you wanted to know.
We're here at Underwood's office building, doing some follow-up investigation on the short murders, potentially. And we found out that Quarles and Agent Richardson were here yesterday absconding with evidence. It is evidence neither Jean nor I came across this morning.
It's not recorded.
You are currently talking to Richardson. He's on the phone.
Oh, I'm talking to Richardson.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Back up. All right. If I'm talking to
where's my shit?
Hi, we're at the Underwood's office building. I heard you were here.
Yeah. I was there yesterday.
What did Quarles take?
I don't know what he took. If he took something, it was in the briefcase that he had with him when he arrived.
All right. That briefcase isn't by chance still in the precinct.
No, after we split up essentially yesterday, I don't know where he went. I didn't see him. He at least didn't bring it to the station when I was there. I don't know where he took that, but but I'd highly doubt that he took it home.
Any places other than his house that Quarles liked to hang out? Did he have a mistress? Did he have a club that he preferred to go to?
I don't know the man outside the office. The first real case where I've actually been having him over my shoulder is this one. And that's probably because it's been such a shit show. But he was strangely anal about everything that's been going on. And
all right, sorry, Godpool, I didn't catch that last thing you cut out.
he's been surprisingly anal about this whole case, especially after Underwood died. I didn't get a chance to investigate anything at the office, and well, he removed something, but if he removed something, I don't know what it is. I just know that he went there to talk to the lady in charge.
All right, thank you. What I need you to do right now is get together, draw a picture, write down every distinguishing feature about that briefcase, the make, the model, any personalizations that Horrells put onto it, everything that you can remember about that briefcase, and hand it to Agent Mackenzie, please.
All right. He draw like I'll do that. And is there anything else you need from me now?
Not at the moment.
All right.
Thank you for your time.
No problem. And he hangs up.
Oh, I wanted to talk to Agent Mackenzie again.
Oh, you if you want, you can just you can ask him to give give you contact.
All right. Can I speak to Agent Mackenzie?
Yeah. And you are and shortly afterwards, Agent Mackenzie picks up the phone and goes, "Mackenzie speaking."
Agent Mackenzie, this is Agent.
Mackenzie.
Bleh, bleh, bleh. This is Leslie Hart.
Yeah. Yeah. How goes the investigation?
It's always hard to say until the end. Gigi, are you aware that Horrells had a briefcase that he was very protective of?
Nah. Well,
There was
none of the information that I have suggests so, but from some of my reports about his movements yesterday, he did seem to have a briefcase with him. Is that perhaps the one you're speaking of?
That's it's a strong possibility. I just talked to Detective Richardson, and he said that Horrells was almost paranoid about that briefcase. It's very important that we get a hold of whatever was in that briefcase. Is it possible that we could either go to Horrell's estate, or we could talk to somebody who was already at Horrell's place to help find this briefcase?
We have been currently, we've been searching his place for quite a while now, and we haven't found any briefcase that had any incriminating papers in them. So we'll keep an eye out for it, but I highly doubt that he brought it home. If it's such a important briefcase, I highly doubt that he brought it home. Now I think that Horrells is in deep shit, and I will be interrogating him later today, and I'll get whatever information about this briefcase I can. See if we can salvage some information about that.
One-ish more thing is, I suppose it's two things. One, is there any office gossip about Horrell's private life, whether he was seeing someone on the side, or that he had a family member that was in any trouble? People talk.
Horrell's, from what I can tell, he was a bitch of a boss. Nobody liked him. Not really, at least, but people did what he told them. and they got paid for it. He did a lot of under the counter kind of payment. He bribed quite a few men, and he had connections into many of the into some of the crime families, which is why he allowed them to operate beneath the surface, and they got past the law quite easily. However, with the incriminating of it, with the evidence that we've been able to gather here, we believe that we'll be able to get some useful information out of Horrell soon. And if anything, we'll just use the good old way to get the information we need.
I'll pretend I didn't hear that, sir. The second part was, did Horrells have a date book? A diary of sorts to chart where he was going and when?
No, not that we know of. We have not found anything that would match the description that you just gave us. He was quite the stickler to having getting reports on time, and he would a lot of the reports, depending if they affected affect people that he didn't want it to affect, he would alter official reports, or have the police detectives or street cops just alter their statements if necessary. He had quite a bit of contacts everywhere. It wouldn't surprise me if it was connected to Miss Underwood in some way, in some form or another. But if he was, it wasn't a very clear connection. He does have connections to the Herald Express, at least. He's...
Alright, actually, could you do me one more favor? Can you reconnect me to Detective Richardson? There's something that crossed my mind I forgot to ask him.
Yeah, I could do that. Yeah.
Thank you.
But do me a favor.
Yes.
Don't cross the wrong people. We don't need to get more heat on us currently. We already got enough shit on us because of the internal investigation.
All right. Will do.
If you want, you can roll psychology.
Okie dokie. I will do that. Oh, nope.
You had the feeling he was trying to insinuate something there, but you have no idea what it is.
And I already did that.
Yeah.
You bet.
Yeah, and you are connected to Richardson. Richardson again. He goes. What is it?
It's Leslie Hart again. I need you to do me a favor. I need you to write down. Talk to other people if you need to. I need you to write down a timeline of of where Horrells has been, to the best of your ability. We know he was at the Underwood apartment, fairly soon after the explosion. We know he was at Underwood's office. I need all the places that he's been and the times to the best of your ability.
I'll do my best, but that's probably going to come up during my interview with Mackenzie later.
All right.
Now, is there anything else I got an
Nope.
interview to get ready for?
All right.
And he puts the
So
phone
I
down.
hang up.
You
I
hang up.
hang up the phone. I imagine, I don't know if I said it explicitly, that I'm downstairs with the secretary again, right?
That's okay.
I said, Mr. Hurst doesn't happen to be in.
You're talking to the receptionist, right?
Yeah, the receptionist downstairs.
She was supposed to be a receptionist. If I accidentally called her secretary.
That's what I meant.
Whoops.
Secretary's a different person.
Yeah. But yeah, continue. Your thought.
Mr. Hurst isn't here, is he?
No, he isn't. He's away due to medical problems.
Was he here yesterday?
No. And she kind of leans towards you. I've been hearing he's got some problems with his heart. So he's been away a lot more.
I nod. You didn't happen to see Chief Horrells when he came out yesterday, when he was leaving yesterday, did you?
I saw him when he came in and when he went out. He and Detective Richardson were here. Richardson was asking some questions of the reporters down here, and myself until while Horrells went up to talk to Miss Lindell.
Did Horrells have anything with him when he left?
He arrived with a briefcase. He had that with him when he left.
And you don't have any idea of where they might have gone to after they left?
Sorry, no. I just greet the people here. Make sure the message goes upstairs.
Thank you very much.
No problem. And now we're gonna cut to Team Hospital.
Again.
Richard and Lisa, you are arriving at the parking lot to the hospital. That was where you were going, correct?
I figured we'd go there after. Well, actually, it's probably good to get the blood test drawn as soon as possible. Going into the hospital, going straight to the phlebotomy lab.
So you go to the hospital and you. I'm guessing you're kind of like walking kind of like briskly towards the like main desk. And you see the woman there, the nurse there, goes like, "Miss, you're gonna have to wait like everyone else as you're arriving."
And say I'm a police detective, part of an active investigation. I've been here 3 fucking days in a row. Just take some of my blood so we can see what drug they doused me with.
What you were Miss, please, we have a lot of other people that have problems here right now, and like unless
my problem will literally only takes to take the blood out.
Yes, and it takes only a minute to look at a sprain and see that it's not a sprain. Now, please, you're gonna have to wait like
and say, I have had a very bad day. Please, don't make it worse.
And you see her like take up the phone and go, do we have a doctor that's available here to help? And she looks over your shoulder, sees like Richard and Jensen, 3 police officers here. All right. The doctor will be with you shortly.
Thank you.
And now you don't wait long. This the doctor arrives like almost immediately. It's an elderly gentleman, and he goes and he directs you to a nurse comes to get you with and leads you to the room where you meet him. You go to like a examine room and in one of the hallways, and
we believe we've been in the process of an investigation. We believe a hallucinogenic was used on us. All I am asking is that you take some of our blood and test it to see if there's any uncommon hallucinogenic drugs in our system, and maybe check my friend's pupils to see if he has a concussion.
And I look at Jensen. Anything aside from possibly alcohol?
And that is where we will stop today. With that great line. With anything besides alcohol. So, shit got real for you, Calvin. Shit got real for you, Lisa. How do you feel?
I feel like you've been vindicated. You finally got me, you bastard.
Nah. Fighting off a cold.
That's rough. But yeah, you went into the shore department and you had a hell of a time. Jensen had a hell of a time. He rolled really good on all of his sandy things. Like, even when he failed.
Yeah, I was taking the brunt of the attack for everyone.
Yeah, you took a lot.
Is incredibly stable.
Dude, I rolled like for Jensen and for Lisa, I rolled 1 damage always. And I rolled like what for you originally, like 2 or something. Yeah, you're doing pretty bad on your sandy there.
I have a 1 in 4 chance of actually succeeding at this point.
Oh boy.
25%. Oh my gosh.
But
Off
what
the
about
crazy world. Bye bye.
what about you, Leslie and Jean? How do you feel now that you were not the brunt of that attack? By the way, Richard, it was a good call not shooting the ghost. You would have shot Lisa.
Aww.
That would have been bad.
Yeah.
I hadn't broken completely yet. I figured he would have just been disturbed. If it had been the 6 that hit me there, or the 7, yeah, I'm sorry, I would have shot.
Oh yeah, he would.
Yeah, it would have been an empty magazine.
If anything,
Lisa has an irrational fear of windows now.
Yeah. For you, Lisa, you are actually afraid of windows. You have, I would not say like, I would not say that you'd be like to the like, but yeah, you'd have an irrational fear of windows currently. I don't know what the phobia for windows is. But
Strange.
Kellen, because of your experience with the dark, with the things disappearing in the dark and everything, you're afraid of it.
Afraid of the dark.
Yes. Like, it's not like you would be like if you're not in a safe space, like if you're walking in like, a place like this, you'd be afraid. I'd say you feel like you'd have to sleep with like a nightlight. You'd feel a lot more comfortable at least sleeping with like some light in the vicinity.
Okay.
But yeah, it was fun doing a little bit of the getting to scare you guys a little bit, because I don't do that a lot in this campaign. But you finally went to a place that did that. I was wondering when you'd start to question why there were no reports about the short apartment. Took longer than I expected.
Sorry, we suck.
It's great.
Yeah, real seasoned FBI investigators over here.
I'm enjoying this a lot. Like, especially when during that time when you were talking to the secretary and she was just like, God, she's just all the sass.
Yeah.
It's a perfect opponent for Richard. Not like an angry motherfucker like Horals was, but like somebody that can speak on his level.
I had to remind myself once or twice in there that Gene isn't sexist.
Yeah.
I almost said some bad things.
The implication is you are sexist, which you're not.
No. I just play a sexist motherfucker on TV.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, that was fun. We good that we managed to play again now. It's been 2 weeks, but we're drawing closer to a solution to this case. Hopefully it's going to be a good one.
Oh, so.
And who knows what is going to come out of that blood test, because, oh boy, I don't know.
Yeah, I hope it's nothing.
Oh, yeah. It's good to hope. It's good to hope.
Well, there's going to be at least 2 somethings.
There's at least going to be 2 somethings, yeah. And it's not like, and it's gonna take a while. Like, it's not something that takes like I don't think it takes a day back then. I think it takes at least a day.
Yeah, that's probably if you rush it.
Yeah, like I think it takes like maybe a day if they rush it. So yeah, but I'll figure that out. But yeah, next time when we join our agents, they will be having more fun at the Herald Express currently, unless they're about to leave. And we'll see what the doctor has to say next time. He'll have some things to say, that's for sure. And current time, okay, this is gonna be the freaky thing. Current time, Richard and Lisa is 9. No, it's about 8 p.m. give or take. And for Jean and Leslie, it's going to be because you've not been nearly doing as much like back and forth work, so it's about like 2 p.m. for you guys.
Not as much back and forth, twice as much progress.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun when they're gonna try to figure out where you guys are, and you're just not on the map for like you experience what is called lost time. Do you know what that is?
I don't think so.
It is. It is. I don't know if it's like a very accurate term, but it's like a UFO term. You know when you're abducted?
Oh, yeah.
For us, it didn't seem like time passed, yet
Yeah.
the rest of the world it did. And so it's the whole thing, like old fairy tales where they would go off with the elves and they'd show up 35 years later, not aged a day, but everyone else has, and that kind of stuff.
That's stuff from my culture.
I know. Yeah, I know some better stuff.
But yeah, next time it's gonna be a great time. It's gonna be next. That will be next Monday, and then we'll join our agents, and we will hopefully start to see some sort of conclusion form here around maybe the next 2 or 3 episodes. Oh yeah, next weekend. Next weekend I'm not in town. Oh boy. We'll figure something out. I'll talk to you guys in the. I'll talk to you guys in the week.
Yeah.
We'll figure stuff out. We'll do. I'll do something for Monday. But anyway, we'll see you in the next Unsolved episode. Where we'll try to get to the bottom of this mystery, and hopefully, Callan will not. Richard will not get more insane. I'm Godpool, and I was the dungeon master or the game master for this game, and with me it was Callan, who played the wonderful Richard Barden, who is slightly more insane now than he was the last session.
A pleasure to play with you, sir.
And then there is Zia, who has experienced her first insanity as Lisa Di Bruno.
Very sleepy.
And then we meet Jean, who might just then we meet Michael, who might have finally met his equal in being a sass. Jean, maybe you have an equal in sassness now.
Not even once.
And then we have Leslie, Brienne, that is now playing Leslie, and goddammit, Leslie's become a hard ass now. Started out such a sweet boy.
I think it's my lack of good sleep.
Good sleep and
maybe I'm just hangry.
Good sleep. Hard hit on the head. Hit on the head. What's wrong with me?
Face all scratched up.
Yeah.
Hands banded to the size of Mickey Mouse.
You got banged up. Thank you all for
I'm
wonderful.
generally a much nicer person.
Thank you all for a wonderful time, and hopefully our agents will stay sane enough to solve this mystery. But until then, bye-bye.
Bye.
Good day, sirs.